911, what's your emergency?
My dad, he's dead.
Can you see him breathing? Have you checked his pulse?
He's cold and he has a bullet in his brain. I think it's safe to assume he's dead.
What's the address?
And since the county still hasn't sent anyone to fix the 389, the CSI is having to take the long way around. That's gonna add another 2 hours onto the estimated time of arrival. Not to mention the nearest coroner is on holiday, so her assistant's going to be taking over for her. He's not so bad. He seems competent enough, otherwise she wouldn't have left him to do it. Oh, his ability to do his job is not the issue. It's his ability to find his way out of a paper bag that I worry about. I get it, but it's out of our hands, kid. We'll just need to follow protocol and secure the scene until they get here. It's all we can really do. Hello everyone, and welcome to my playthrough of Death in a Rural Town. Now I'm going off of memory here because I can't check my web browser like I normally do to cheat, because this is only playable in the web browser. So I'm going to put the title in the video if I'm wrong. This looks really interesting. It was just posted, no reviews yet, so I thought I'd hop right on it. It looks like something I would really like the style of. I love this style of game in general. It's just great. I've secured the scene and got the witnesses out here. From left to right, we got Alex Smith, Evelyn Smith, Stella Jones, and Sam Campbell. We should probably search the scene before we talk to him. Okay. Doesn't seem to be any sign of forced entry on the door. Interesting. A couple of adventure books, a wine glass, and a vase of fake flowers. Looks very deliberately set up, like a still life painting. Interesting. Adventure novels, fantasy novels, and murder mysteries. Most are well worn and have been handled relatively recently, judging by the dust tracks. Ah, okay, same thing. Small fake plant and a phone book open to the page of a private detective. Who would need a private detective, and why? Interesting. I wish those clue notes that pop up when we discover a clue would linger just a little bit longer. I can't really make them out. Okay. The dust has settled in a way that you would be able to tell if the chair had been moved, which it clearly hasn't. It doesn't look like anyone has used this in a long time. Okay, what's this? A motorcycle? A well-maintained motorcycle registered to Alex Smith. It's locked. I guess I'll have to go ask for a key. Contains extra bed sheets, blankets, and comforters. These ones are brand new, still in the packaging it came in. Interesting. Oh, okay, no. Ah! Shelving unit. Contains several used coloring books, a box full of children's sports supplies that have no wear or tear on them, and a box or two of sentimental baby items. Interesting. I didn't mean to do that again. I wanted to do this because you can click boxes. Okay, so that's just that's that box. Okay. The top of the red cabinet says Street Brawler. It doesn't look like it's plugged in. Sorry about that. Long day at work. The top of the cabinet says Immortal Kombat. Doesn't look like it's plugged in. Alright. Let's see what else we got. The fridge is almost empty. Looks like they had one heck of a party. The cabinet's holding some plates and bowls. Top of the oven is very clean. The inside of the oven stores a couple of pans. Fresh flowers. Obviously very suspicious. Okay. Holds a couple of big mixing bowls and pots. Stuffed full of non-perishable foods like pasta, canned foods, and chips. Okay. The counter's clean, but the toaster still has some crumbs in the bottom of it. Interesting. Significant amount of dust, and not even a single water ring in the table. Definitely hasn't been used in a while. Interesting. What about this? A well-used coffee table. Okay, so that one's used, but the one in the kitchen isn't. Interesting. I haven't finished the downstairs. Let's do that first. I found the dead guy. Well, I don't need the coroner to tell me that he died from a gunshot wound to the head. It is hard to tell if there was any struggle since the blood got everywhere. I'll have to wait for the coroner and crime scene techs to get anything off the body. Speaking of which, where's the gun? Okay. Why is the gun missing? Contains contracts related to manufacturing and distributing ATMs. Contains some accounting records. Look like they were doing okay. No big dips in sales, but no real big hike either. Weird. Seems like there's only records from 2000 to 2010. I guess they started digitizing the rest? Contains design plans for different ATMs, the software they use. Okay. Mostly contains books about business and travel. There are also some books on coding and hacking as well, which is interesting. There looks to be some burnt scraps of paper in the fireplace. I think I can take a guess as to where the accounting records went. Contains various crystals, cloths, and other spiritual items. Contains informational packets on spiritual health and wellness. And the bottom drawer holds receipts for numerous purchases of health-related products. They're probably being saved for tax purposes. I wouldn't go that far. Doesn't seem like they're too interested in taxes. Okay. Weird. Where'd the gun go? Looks like they finished their game of pool and then never reset it. Looks like they were partying pretty hard here. The wine bottle and glasses are still here from that night. And a couple of decks of cards and numerous books on card games. There are a couple of instructional books that are clearly their favorites as they have some serious wear and tear. Contains several books about childcare and activities to do outdoors. It's definitely been a while since these have been used, as all are very dusty. Considering the age of the kid, they probably grew out of needing these. Okay. Fake plant. No time for watering, I guess. So many board games. I haven't even heard of most of these. Can definitely tell which are the favorites based on the wear and tear. Okay. Let's go upstairs now. Oh my gosh. A tourist photo of the Eiffel Tower. It's a toilet, which seems to work just fine despite the weird clicking noise. Old house, old pipes, unfortunately. A normal bathtub with some staining from pink hair dye. Some slight staining from what looks to be pink hair dye and toothpaste in the sink. Nothing unusual in the drawers. Contains the usual toiletries. A typical guest room art piece. And some women's clothes and some toiletries. Some books about health and wellness on the dresser. And in the dresser, snacks and a half-empty wine bottle and a old high school yearbook. Looks like Evelyn, Stella, Henry, and Sam met back in high school. The girls look so uncomfortable in every picture they have with the guys. Oh, wow. Looks like Evelyn gave birth to Alex back in high school. Sophomore year. I'm seeing a pattern that I don't like. Huh. Both pillows have some marks on them, like someone's chapstick rubbed off on them. Our guest is either a pretty hardcore pillow hogger, or they had someone else in the bed with them. Not to mention the bedding looks pretty messed up for just one person to have slept in it. Just a side table with some fresh-ish flowers on it. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. Quite a bit of women's clothing. Looks like she stays over quite a lot. A TV. Books about health and wellness. Wow, they are really health and wellness nuts, aren't they? Bed was definitely slept in. Nothing under the bed. Why would you check under the bed? Side table with flowers on it. Looks out to a fire pit and a lot of trees. Typical guest room landscape painting. And an empty drawer. Oh, you know what? Let me try this side. Okay, also empty. TV with a bare minimum setup. Probably only gets cable. One shirt, one pair of pants, a toothbrush, and literally nothing else. Not even toothpaste. He clearly doesn't plan on spending a long time here. Okay. Looks like it hasn't been used in a while. Not that I could blame them, it's been really hot lately. Looks like it hasn't been oh, same thing. Okay. The bed is neatly made, like nobody slept in it last night. Nothing under the bed either. Oh. Contains a book, chapstick, and a bottle of over-the-counter pain pills, and a charger for her phone. Also contains a journal? Judging by the handwriting, I think this is the wife's. Should I look through the journal? Yes, read the journal. I am very curious. It looks like she wasn't happy in the marriage and was in love with someone else. It doesn't say who, but it could definitely be motive. Interesting. Now, don't go around telling people's husbands that. It's a good way to get somebody killed. You could also prevent that by not falling in love with somebody while you're married, but I'm getting bad vibes from this story that I'm hope are incorrect. Box of old unopened condoms, old and unopened lubricant, and an almost empty bottle of lotion. Looks like he and the wife were not sexually active together. Interesting. Men's shirts, blazers, formal pants. Men's t-shirts, jeans, and shorts. Men's t-shirts. Okay, are there no women's clothes in here? Oh, there's one. Women's tops and jackets, and at the bottom of the closet are some folded pajamas and underclothing. Okay. Looks like your average sink. The usual toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, face wash, etc. And the bottom drawer looks to be a medicine drawer. Pills for all sorts of ailments and band-aids of all sizes. Most of it is neatly sorted, but it looks like some of the Band-Aid boxes were hastily shoved in. Hastily. As if someone was in a hurry. Interesting. It is a toilet. Looks wet, like it was recently used. Most of it is clean, but there's a spot that was missed on the faucet handle. It looks like blood. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nothing on the bed. Nothing under the bed except for dust. Oh, there's a shoebox here. Filled with cash. Where did a kid get all this cash? And why would they need it? A drawer full of old high school art assignments. Kid seems to be pretty talented. Some old high school papers, mostly writing assignments. TV with a game console. The kid's living large. A collage of old photos. Looks like some lyrics for a song. It's hard to know if it'll be a hit without hearing the melody. No one in this house has time to water plants. A real cactus. Surprising considering all the other plants in this house are fake. In the top drawer, t-shirts and tank tops. Nothing too exciting here. Pants and shorts. Books about songwriting and art. All looks to be well loved. Top drawer has undergarments and socks, while the bottom drawer has a bathing suit and a heavy winter jacket. It's really weird. Distribution of items. It's a mirror, and we're not going to say anything about it. Okay, time to go talk to them, I guess. Am I sure that I've looked everywhere? Okay, hold on. So there was this bathroom. I don't know if I checked the sink. Oh, I did. Okay. Unfortunately for me, a favorite hiding spot for people is in the toilet tank. Well, what do you know? There it is. It might be hard to get prints off it since it's been in the water for a while. What did we pick up? Oh, no. Okay. I don't think I can see what we picked up unless... Nope, no inventory. Okay. I wonder if I go back and look at the beds if I'll get something new. Suspiciously messy bed. All right. Okay, I think we might have gotten everything. I did want to look at this, though. A tourist photo of the Notre Dame in Paris. Okay. Oh. So behind the boxes in this corner are the breaker boxes. Is the breaker box. Looks pretty dusty, so they probably haven't had any trouble with it lately. Though they really should move the boxes out of the way. It's a real fire hazard. Interesting. It's locked. I guess let's just go back out. Whoops, almost tripped over the plant. Wait. That sounded almost hollow. I wonder if... It is hollow! Looks like I'm gonna have to search every potted plant in this place. She does not look happy about this. Oh my gosh. So I guess we're not counting the one there. Let's try this one. Okay. Ugh. Fresh flowers, obviously very suspicious. Okay. This fake plant is a little bit heavier than the other ones. The fake plant doesn't have any dirt, so maybe if I remove the plant from the pot... Bingo! Looks like some wet clothing are all bunched up in here. Like he tried to wash it, but didn't want to let it dry out in the open. Interesting. Wait. That looks like blood. But CSI will have to test it to make sure. I didn't even notice that before. Okay. No plants in there. Nothing there. And nothing there. I guess that's it? Am I sure that I've searched everywhere? I think so. Let's just go with yes. Do you think you've got everything from the scene? Probably should go back to the scene to see if there's anything else we missed. I should wait to talk to them until I've talked with my partner. Oh, so, okay, we've got to make sure that we've got everything from the scene first. Car registered to Stella Jones. Car registered to Sam Campbell. Okay. Huh. Let's say we got everything. Can I see your notes for a sec? Looks like you found the weapon that killed him. I can't think of anything else we'd need from the scene. I think we can start talking to the witnesses now. Oh, I have not talked to the witnesses yet. Talking. You must be Alex. I'm Detective Carter. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Sure, whatever will help with the investigation. What should I ask about? What happened? Can you tell me what led up to today? Mom and Dad had a little get-together with their friends yesterday. It's kind of a monthly thing they do. Do you know what time Stella and Sam came to the house? I think it was probably around noon. Anyway, I stayed in my room pretty much the entire time yesterday, except to grab some food at about 5 p.m. Everything seemed fine then. I think they were playing board games in the game room, judging from the noise. I didn't know board games were so loud to play. Not usually, but Dad and Sam are competitive, to say the least. Also, Stella tends to call them out on their bullshit when they try to cheat, so it can get a bit rowdy. Interesting. Continue. I probably fell asleep at around 10 p.m. went on a FaceTime with my friends. I woke up at 4 a.m. to get some coffee, but the machine wasn't working, so I went to ask Dad. He's usually up by this time, so I went to his bedroom, but he wasn't there. The door to the office was slightly open, so I went to check, and... I'm sorry for your loss. Please, make sure you give Officer Peterson the contact information for the friends you were on FaceTime with. Of course. When was the last time you saw him alive? When I went to get food last night at 5 p.m., he was grabbing a beer from the fridge. Did anything seem off to you? No, he seemed pretty normal to me. Ignored me, like usual. Ignored? Dad was a very religious man. We didn't exactly see eye to eye. Was there something specific that drove you apart recently, or has it always been this way? I came out as non-binary and told him I had legally changed my name. And when was that? 2 weeks ago. He hasn't spoken to me since. Who do you think did this and why? I don't know if you would have a motive, but I trust Sam as far as I could throw him. Oh? Any particular reason why? The man is as slimy as they come. Plus, there's always some angry tension between Dad and Sam. Can you tell me how you feel about... Henry Smith? Before you came out to him, obviously. It's complicated. I love him because he's my dad. But I don't like him as a person. Care to elaborate on that? He spoils me, but he treats Mom and Stella like... Well, not like dirt, but like they don't know anything and can't do anything because they're women. I mean, he's the same to me, but since I'm his kid, it feels different? I don't know how to explain it. No, I get it, kid. So do I. Mom and I are pretty close. especially recently. She's always been supportive of me no matter what happens. Stella's like a second mom. Well, I guess is a better way to put it is like a cool aunt. Either way, she's cool, I guess. Not a fan of Sam. He's a slimy dude, and he makes me uncomfortable. Is there something specifically that he's done to make you feel that way? No. Technically, no. He's nice to me, but something about him skeeves me out. If anything, he's overly friendly. Like a creepy uncle. Okay. You must be Evelyn, Henry's wife. I'm Detective Carter. I would like to ask you a few questions. Of course. Whatever I can do to help. What should I ask about? What just happened? Henry and I decided we wanted to do our usual get-together with Stella and Sam yesterday. Alex was nice enough to clean up in preparation before everyone got here at about noon. Everything seemed normal. We played our usual board games and card games in the game room. We ate early in the evening, approximately 4 p.m. We kept playing until everyone decided to go to bed at about 9 p.m. Stella and I decided to do a little sleepover and watch our favorite movies, Charlie's Angels. I don't think either of us finished the movie. I think I conked out about 30 minutes in. And then the next thing I knew, I hear Alex screaming. And at about what time was that? About 5 a.m.? I wasn't exactly looking at the clock, though. Sorry I can't be of more help. No, this is a lot of help, thank you. When was the last time you saw him? Last time I saw Henry was about 9 p.m. when we all parted ways to go to bed. I don't even remember what the last thing I said to him was. My condolences. Who do you think did this and why? I don't know who would want to kill him. You didn't have any issues with him? Of course, we have our troubles, but not enough for violence to be a factor. And Henry wouldn't have... No. He would never kill himself. He was much too proud for that. He was tenacious. Never wanted to give up. Can you tell me how you feel about Henry? He's my husband, so I love him. That's not exactly a glowing review. We've had our disagreements, but we always work through them. That's how a marriage works. Alex and I are very close, and I love them to pieces. I feel so grateful that I did a good job raising Alex to the point that we're so close now, even as they've grown. Stella? She's my best friend. Practically my other half. Sam Campbell. He's interesting, I guess. A little too touchy-feely for my taste, but he's my husband's best friend, so I'm sure it's just him being nice. Never mind. I don't think it's just him being nice. You must be Stella. I'm Detective Carter. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Of course. What do you want to ask? Well, I got here around noon yesterday. We played games in the game room until 4 p.m. when we decided to pause to grab food. We continued to play till around 9 p.m. when we decided to head to bed. Evelyn and I decided to watch a movie in my room, but we fell asleep watching it. Next thing I know, I'm waking up to screaming at 5 a.m. Was there anything out of the ordinary that happened yesterday that you could think of? Not really. I mean, Henry and Sam had their usual tiff at around 7 p.m., but really it was pretty quiet. Usual tiff? They tend to get at each other's throats occasionally. Nothing out of the ordinary, really. They went right back to being their usual jovial selves right after. Interesting. I think he opened my bedroom door at 11 p.m., but I was pretty tired, so I'm not pretty sure. Why would he pop his head into your room? I don't know, I was half asleep, so maybe the movie's flashing lights made me think I saw him? Who do you think would do this and why? I mean, he's not the most upstanding guy, but I don't think anyone hated him enough to kill him. You don't have any qualms against him? Not enough to kill him over. Would he have killed himself? I can't imagine he would, but I don't know him well enough to say otherwise. Can you tell me how you feel about Henry? I don't think he treats Evelyn right, but otherwise he's tolerable. You want to elaborate on that? I'm not one to speak ill of the dead. Ma'am, this is a death investigation. To bottom line it, I'm not exactly his biggest fan. Evelyn's pretty much my soulmate. The friend kind, obviously. Yeah, okay, so in my experience, the only people who feel the need to clarify the friend kind, obviously, are the kind that, who would consider you within their wheelhouse. Let's put it that way. Are we gonna have a cute little secret love? Aww. I'm saying this because I suspect the husband did something bad, and I don't really care if the wife is seeing somebody or in love with somebody else if he's done what I suspect he's done. How about Alex? Alex is a cool kid. I probably mother them too much, but I really love them. Like they were my own kid. He's fine, I guess. Gives me slimy vibes, but otherwise has treated Evelyn and I fine. He tends to be overly into Alex's business, but I don't think it's a sinister thing, just wants to be involved, I guess. Oh. You must be Sam. I'm Detective Carter. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Sure, whatever you need, Detective. What should I ask about? Well, I arrived at around the same time Stella did, about noon. We played some games until we got hungry at 4 p.m. We got food and continued playing until about 9 p.m. when the girls decided they were tired and wanted to go to bed. And then we went to sleep. Not much else to it until this morning. And what time was that? 5 a.m. like the rest of them. When was the last time you saw him? Last time I saw him? We all kind of parted ways at 9 p.m. to head to bed, so that was probably it. Who do you think did this and why? I mean, it's pretty obvious he killed himself. Is it? Well, yeah, I can't imagine anyone else killing him. Was he depressed? Not visibly so. But you know how men are. Sure. Can you tell me how you feel about Henry? He's my best friend. So you never had any issues with him? No bad times with us. Even if we did have trouble, we always worked it out quickly. Evelyn's a lovely woman. I almost wish I was married to her. Ha 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 ha. Ha. What about Alex? Aw, love her like my own daughter. She's a little standoffish, like a cute cat. The pronouns were quite obvious there. I'm having creeper feelings about this guy. What about Stella? She doesn't seem to like me very much, but she's a good friend to Evelyn, so we get along for her. I think I've gotten all the information I can from him. Okay. Am I ready to ask about the evidence I found? I'd like to ask you a question about, oh my god, all of the evidence. Blood on the bathtub. There was some blood on the bathroom faucet handles in the left bathroom. Mom had me clean everything like a government health inspector was coming. There is no way that was there before Stella and Sam got here. Do you have any idea of how or when it got there? No, nothing comes to mind. I stayed in my room for most of the night, as I'm not super interested in playing board games with my parents and their friends. I don't go into the left bathroom because I have one closer to my room. But I know it wasn't there before, that's for sure. What about the main bedroom bed? This is gonna be awkward for you, kid, but it doesn't look like the main bedroom was slept in last night. So that just means Dad didn't go to bed last night. Yes. And? Where did your mom sleep last night? Oh, I don't really know. Maybe she fell asleep in Stella's room? No sign of forced entry. There was no sign of forced entry into the house. Okay, so Dad was killed by somebody inside the house or by somebody that was let in. Any idea who that could be? Isn't that kind of your job to figure out? Fair. What about the wife's journal? Do you know if your mom was having an affair? What? There's no way. There's some evidence that suggests your mom was in love with someone else. Ah. Mom would never cheat, even if she was in love with someone else, which I doubt she is. Oh? And why is that? I mean, she doesn't go out much, so the only people she comes into contact are Dad, Sam, and Stella. What about online dating? Mom isn't as cagey about her laptop as Dad is, so I definitely would have seen something. There's just no way. Oh, what about Sam? Absolutely not. That man is the slimiest motherfucker I have ever met. She would never be interested in him. Coding hacking books. There were some interesting books in the study. The ones about coding and hacking? Yeah, he just got those recently. How recently is recent? About a month ago. We started picking up all he could find on hacking and hacking hardware. Any idea why? No. Honestly, it seemed really out of the blue. He was never really interested in that kind of thing before. He's relatively tech savvy for his age, but not that tech savvy. I can only assume something had happened to the ATMs they were shipping out. I'm sorry to say that your father was shot in the head. Why are you telling me this? I found him. I know how he died. If you're implying that he killed himself... Well, Dad was so devoutly religious that he believed suicide was a sin. Yes. And he wasn't depressed regardless. He wouldn't get depressed. He would get angry. Was he violent? He didn't have a violent temper that I've ever witnessed. He had a quiet, passive-aggressive anger that would show through the things he would do or say. Not overly aggressive, just... He knew exactly what to say to get under your skin. If you reacted, he won. If you didn't react, he would just continue. He never let go of a grudge until he won. I'm sorry to hear that. I asked because I want to know, how did you not hear the gunshot? I guess it's because Dad had the office soundproofed a couple years ago when he started the business. Oh, interesting. Wet clothes. We found some wet clothes in the red guest room. In Sam's room? What does that... Sam's room? Yeah, Sam's room. We don't have any other guests that come over other than Sam and Stella, so they basically have assigned rooms. Red is Sam's room, green is Stella's. What about your friends? Don't they ever stay over? Would you, as a grown-ass adult, invite your friends to sleep over at your parents' house? Point taken. Private detectives? The phone book in the living room was open to a page on private detectives. Any idea why? No. I mean... What would I need a private detective for? What about your parents? I mean, Mom and Dad work from home, so it's not all that hard to see what they're up to on a daily basis, so I kind of doubt they would need it for each other. The only thing I can think of is if it's something for business. Okay. Oh, there's more! Lord have mercy. There were accounting record scraps in the fireplace in the office. Okay, and? Any idea how they got there? I don't, but I can guess that whatever happened, it wasn't good. There's a little bit of blood on the upstairs rug leading to the left bathroom. It looks relatively fresh. Any idea when it got there? No, but I know it definitely wasn't there yesterday, otherwise I would have noticed it while cleaning. Do you know how it might have happened? Also no, sorry I can't be of more help. What's the deal with the cash under your bed? What, am I not allowed to save up? How did you manage to get so much? My band may be kind of indie, but we do get some paid gigs. We split up the money evenly and my portion just goes there. We only get a couple hundred a gig, max, so it's taken a bit to get what I have, but hopefully I'll have enough soon. Have enough for what? I don't exactly want to live with my parents for the rest of my life. I would like to have my own place eventually, but that's looking farther and farther away at this point. It might help if it was in a bank where it could accrue interest. I don't exactly trust an institution that gambles with other people's money and then gets bailed out by the government when they bet badly. People don't get that shit. Just them. Right? I mean, again, fair. Medicine drawer. The medicine drawer in the left bathroom was a bit of a mess. Is that how it usually is? Mom's pretty anal about keeping the drawers tidy, so probably not, but I don't ever use that bathroom, so I don't know for sure. Why don't you use that one? No one uses the right bathroom except for me most of the time, so I basically have my own. Okay. Yearbook photo. I found your parents' high school yearbook, and there was a picture of your mom holding you in her sophomore year. Yeah. My mom had me pretty early in high school. Kind of a shock considering the type of school she was in. It was a miracle they let her finish and didn't kick her out when she kept me. Though that may have had more to do with the fact that Mom and Dad got married right around then. Crazy what you can do with just the parents' permission. Again, not wrong. Looks like everyone met back in high school, judging by the yearbook. Yeah, sounds about right. What about it? Kind of looks like your mom and Stella look a little bit uncomfortable in the photos they have with your dad and Sam. I noticed that too, but Mom and Stella refuse to talk about it when I ask. I don't know why. I have bad suspicions. The green guest room had some crazy chapstick marks on both sides of the bed. Okay, so Stella wears chapstick to bed and is a crazy sleeper? I don't know what else you want me to say about that. We found the gun that shot your father. Somehow it ended up in the toilet tank of the right bedroom. Any comments? Nope, not a thing. Interesting. How do I get out of this, though? Oh, okay, so you do have to use enter to... Oh gosh, okay, let me start that over. You have to use escape to back out of a menu, apparently, but escape also minimizes the game, so I might, like, cut that bit. Just because I don't want anybody to see how many tabs I have open. Why did you pick that way to talk to her? I want to ask you about the blood on the bathtub. There was some blood on the bathroom faucet handles in the left bathroom. Perhaps they missed a spot? So that could either be her slipping on Alex's pronouns, or it was Stella. There were some interesting books in the study regarding coding and hacking. Any idea what those are about? Henry had always bragged about his uncrackable ATMs, so perhaps it has something to do with that. It doesn't look like the main bedroom was slept in last night. If you're asking where I slept in the green one with Stella. We had a little sleepover, just like the old days. I'm sorry to say Henry was killed by a gunshot wound to the head. Oh my god, I think I need to sit down. I have to ask, are you sure you didn't hear anything? I'm sorry to say I didn't. We had our movie on pretty loud. So you're saying the gunshot could have blended into the sounds of the movie? Yes, unfortunately. There were no signs of forced entry into the house. Well, it's good we don't have to fix that door. You do know that means that one of you, who were already in the house, did it, right? Oh. Yes, I suppose it does. I'm sure you'll figure it out, Detective. We found some wet clothes in the red guest room. Wet clothes? I'm gonna have to talk to him about leaving wet clothes around. We could have just thrown them in the dryer. Him, as in Sam? Yes, that's Sam's room. Huh. Were you having an affair? I beg your pardon? There's some evidence that suggests you are in love with someone else. What kind of evidence could you possibly have to that effect? Well, your journal. You read my journal? That's an incredible invasion of privacy. Lady, your husband's just been murdered. We need to investigate everything at this point to make sure we don't miss anything relevant. Well, it's not. I have never cheated on Henry. I may have loved someone else, but I committed to this marriage for the rest of my life. My love would never have worked out, even if I had gotten out. It's sinful to even think of it. She is in love with her best friend. Considering you're now a widow, why not pursue your love with... I don't think that is at all relevant for this investigation, Detective. I can never and will never say it out loud. I will carry this sin alone. That sounds familiar. The phone book in the living room was open to a page on private detectives. Any idea why? A private detective? No, I wouldn't need one. Perhaps Henry did. Do you know what he would have needed one for? No. He was a little all over the place the past couple of days. I thought it was because of the party, but perhaps it was business related? There were accounting records scraps in the fireplace in the office. What? Henry would never burn accounting records. Oh, and why is that? He got investigated by the IRS once, and he has never thrown away a receipt since, let alone old accounting records. Interesting. There's a small bit of blood on the upstairs rug leading to the left bathroom. It looks relatively fresh. Any idea when it got there? Blood? On the upstairs rug? Oh, that's gonna be awful to clean. I'm going to guess it wasn't there before. Obviously not, and I can't think of how or why it would be there. There's nothing that stands out last night that could have come from. Alex has a good amount of cash under their bed. Any idea why? Oh, that. Yes, I know about that. Do you know what it's for? I have to assume they're saving up for something. I don't know for sure, but it's probably for moving out. Any reason why Alex would want to move out so desperately? Alex is a grown-up now, so they are feeling that desperate urge to leave the nest. Plus, Alex and Henry have not been seeing eye to eye lately, so that hasn't helped. I assume this is due to Alex coming out? Yes. Unfortunately, Henry has never been very open-minded about the LGBT thing. That's ironic. Medicine drawer, what about that? The medicine drawer in the left bathroom was a bit of a mess. Is that how it normally is? The drawer was tiny before I went to bed last night. About what time was that? Around 8 p.m.? Do you have any idea of how it got to be like that? I don't really know. If Alex had a cut or something, they have medical supplies in their bathroom at the other end of the hall. But it definitely wasn't you, Henry, Stella, or Sam. No, unless it was after 8 p.m. Nothing happened for any of us to need band-aids during the party. I found your high school yearbook and there was a picture of you holding a baby Alex in your sophomore year. Yes, and I don't really want to talk about it. But ma'am, I fail to see what this has to do with Henry's death. We don't really know until we ask. So, well, it doesn't. Looks like everyone met back in high school, judging by the yearbook. Yes, we all met in high school. Stella and I were besties from the very moment our eyes met, like a soul bond. Sam and Henry were there as well, and we, I guess, got closer, for a lack of a better term. The green guest room has some crazy chapstick marks on both sides of the bed. Ah, yes, Stella. Neither Stella or myself are young enough to sleep on the floor without consequences in the morning. Do you usually share a bed with your friends? I mean, it's a queen bed. There's plenty of room. I mean, I don't see why not. A queen bed is plenty big enough that you're not going to be up in everyone's business. We found the gun that shot Henry. Somehow it ended up in the toilet tank of the right bathroom. No, it couldn't be. What? What couldn't it be? It's just that that's where Alex has a habit of hiding things. But it couldn't be Alex. I will say I'm not a fan of how I have to basically minimize the game to get out of the menu. Let's ask Stella. There was some blood on the bathroom faucet handles in the left bathroom. Sorry, I don't know anything about that. Nothing happened during the party for it to be there. Maybe it was there before the party? There were some interesting books in the study regarding coding and hacking. Any idea who those were about? Oh, okay, so he was interested in coding? He was an ATM manufacturer. Wouldn't he need to know about coding? Oh, that's not what I meant to click. It doesn't look like the main bedroom was slept in last night. Evelyn slept in the green guest room with me because we wanted to do sleepover stuff like we used to when we were young. I'm sorry to say Henry was shot in the head. Jesus. Why are you telling me this? Please don't tell me anything else. I'm going to get queasy. I have to ask because gunshots are pretty loud. Did you hear anything? I think I heard something like a dull thud during a quiet part in the movie. When was that? I think it was pretty close to when he stuck his head in 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Maybe like 11:30 p.m.? There was no sign of forced entry into the house. Okay. And we found some wet clothes in the red guest room. That's disgusting. You could have just taken them to the dryer. I love how everybody's reaction is just, ew, Sam, ew. Ew. I kind of want to instantly cut that out. That made me uncomfortable. Do you know if Evelyn was having an affair? There's some evidence that supports Evelyn was in love with someone else. She's in love with someone else? Who? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Any ideas? Could it be Sam? No, it could never or would never be Sam. That man is awful, to say the least. It must be someone else. Oh, come on, honey. Try to think a little bit. The phone book in the living room was open to a page on private detectives. Any idea why? The only thing I can think of is Henry investigating something going on in his business. I can't say I know for sure, though, as he never talked to Evelyn or myself about anything business-related. He was quite the private man, it seems. On the contrary, he thought we were too stupid to understand his business. He used to try to stick his nose into our business, but Evelyn made some sort of deal to get him to stop. Something along the lines of letting us fail on our own so we can learn from our experiences. There were accounting record scraps in the fireplace in the office. Interesting. I guess someone had something to hide. I didn't see a shredder in the office. Perhaps they were just getting rid of old, irrelevant documents? I mean, who burns accounting records unless they're trying to hide something? Any idea what that might be? No. And isn't something that you have to figure out, detective? There's a small bit of blood on the upstairs rug. Any idea where it got there? Sorry, I don't know anything about that. Nothing happened during the party that would account for it, so maybe something happened before it? Alex has a good amount of cash under their bed. Any idea why? Oh, damn. Kid must be saving up for something. Any idea what Alex could be saving up for? I don't know what, but if I had to guess, probably to move out. Oh? Alex didn't say anything specifically, but they're 23. It wouldn't surprise me. The medicine drawer in the left bathroom was a bit of a mess. Is that how it usually is? That's weird. Weird how? Evelyn likes a tidy house, inside and out. I doubt she would let even the drawers get messy. I found your high school yearbook, and there was a picture of Evelyn holding a baby Alex. Yeah. That's an interesting reaction. It wasn't a good time for Evelyn. Don't get me wrong, Evelyn loves Alex, just the circumstances of having them could have been better. What were the circumstances? It's kind of a sensitive subject. Plus, I don't really remember the night in question. You don't remember? Yeah. I think something was slipped into our drinks that night. Evelyn won't talk about it, so I don't even know if she remembers. Regardless, probably wasn't good. She must have remembered enough to say Henry was the father, though. From what I understand, Henry swooped in to marry her so she would have a place to stay after her parents kicked her out. What a hero. My thoughts exactly. Looks like everyone met back in high school. Yeah, we did. Considering how you and Evelyn look uncomfortable in all of the photos with Henry and Sam, I take it wasn't a fun time. Back in high school, they were just creepy dudes. Eventually, we learned to live with them. Especially since Evelyn married him sophomore year after she found out she was pregnant with Alex. The green guest room has some crazy chapstick marks on both sides of the bed. You don't expect a 30-plus-year-old to sleep on the floor, do you? We found the gun that shot Henry. Somehow it ended up in the toilet tank of the right bathroom. Weird. Why would it be there? You don't have any ideas? No, isn't that something you need to figure out? I appreciate that Stella's just like, please do your job, detective, and stop trying to get answers from me. Am I ready to ask Sam questions? Ew. But yes. I want to ask you about the blood on the bathtub. It was probably there before we got there. The house was clean before everyone got here for the party. Alex isn't exactly super observant. She just probably missed it while cleaning. There were some interesting books in the study regarding coding and hacking. Any idea what those are about? I mean, Henry and I run an ADM manufacturer. We have to know about these kinds of things, no? It doesn't look like the main bedroom was slept in last night. I guess that's weird. Maybe Evelyn set the bed when she got up? After being woken up by Alex's screaming? Evelyn's a bit of a neat freak. It wouldn't surprise me if she did it out of habit. Or she slept somewhere else. As flattered as I am about the implication, she was not with me last night. I know, she was with Stella the whole night. Oh. Well, then why are you asking me about it? To see how you react. I'm sorry to say Henry was shot in the head. Yes, how sad. Sad? Well, isn't it obvious? He killed himself. Why would he kill himself? Well, why does anyone kill themselves? He was depressed. So he showed signs of depression? I don't know, we never talked that girly shit, but a gunshot wound to the head is pretty much an open and shut case, isn't it? Right. Did you hear the gunshot? It would have been pretty loud. Oh, no, I didn't hear anything. Henry had the office soundproofed several years ago, so there's no way I would have heard anything. There was no sign of forced entry. Well, yeah, because he killed himself. We found some wet clothes in your room. I don't know where those came from. Really? From what I understand, the red guest room is always yours. You don't know how freshly wet clothes got into your room? I'm feeling a bit threatened by your tone, detective. I think I want a lawyer. Oh, damn. So, do you know if Evelyn was having an affair? There's some evidence she was in love with someone else. She wasn't having an affair. But I'm afraid I know who she's talking about. Oh? Well, it has to be me. I'm the only other man in her life. I had a feeling, but I didn't make a move as she was already taken. Right. The phone book in the living room was open to private detectives. Any idea why? Huh. Well, it certainly wasn't me. Maybe it was Henry thinking Evelyn stepped out on him? Was that likely? I suspect she liked someone, but she wouldn't step out on him because the Bible says so. Blah, blah, blah. Why does this feel like I'm interviewing my old classmates from high school? There were accounting record scraps in the fireplace in the office. Find anything interesting on them? They were a little too burnt to make out much of anything, unfortunately. Well, they were probably old records anyway. Is that usually how you guys get rid of old documents? I don't, but I guess it's more secure than just tossing them in the recycling bin. There's a small bit of blood on the left upstairs rug leading to the left bathroom. Are you sure it wasn't there before the party? Pretty sure. Girls must have missed it when they were cleaning. Stop calling Alex a girl, man. I just really find it annoying that everyone that's alive but him is using their proper pronouns. Alex has a good amount of cash under their bed. Any idea why? She's always been a weird kid. Do you have any idea of what Alex was saving up for? Not a clue? Maybe a new guitar or something? The medicine drawer was a mess. Aren't all medicine drawers a mess? Not in Evelyn's house, apparently. Alex probably used something from it. She's a bit of a problem child. Why do I feel like he's blaming everything on the kid? I found your high school yearbook. Oh, yes, we were blessed with Alex in high school. It was a wonderful time back then. She was so cute as a baby. Is he so interested in Alex because Alex is his child because he roofied Evelyn? That would make a lot of sense. I mean, that would be horrible. But I thought maybe he was like a, as Stella put it, creepy uncle. I wonder if he's just, weirdly enough, just a person who doesn't know how to take no for an answer. Let's put it that way. Looks like everyone met back in high school. Yep, we did. Kind of seems like Evelyn and Stella were a little awkward around you and Henry. Most kids are pretty awkward in their high school photos. They probably had a crush on us back then. Ew. The green guest room had some crazy chapstick marks on both sides of the bed. Ha! Stella must be a messy sleeper. We found the gun that shot Henry. Somehow it ended up in the toilet tank of the right bathroom. How could it have gotten there? You don't know? I honestly don't. Are you sure about that, sir? Have you talked to the witnesses yet? I think we got all the relevant background info we need. Time to see what they say to the stuff we found. I did that. I think. What do you think happened? Who killed Henry? I think it's Sam. I think Sam is embezzling money, and so he killed Henry. The only thing I'm not sure about is how did the gun get in Alex's room? Why did Sam do it? Money. Sam killed Henry because Henry found out about the creative accounting that was going on in the business. Let's take him into custody while we wait for the coroner and CSI to get here. Sam was taken into custody and charged with Henry's murder. Sam was convicted and sentenced to life without parole. He can appeal in 5 years. The end. And that's the ending? What? Oh man, this... I really wanted, like, some sort of explanation scene. No, and it's gonna make me play from the beginning. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna call it here, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys to try to get the other, if there are any other endings. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. It was actually a lot of fun to play. I do wish that there was a little bit more required back and forth. I do kind of wish that, so the first round of interviews with the people that we did, I kind of wish that some of those points raised would be something you can discuss with the other people. So you might interview, say, Evelyn, and she would say nothing, but then you'd interview Stella, and she would say, well, something happened, but I'm not going to talk about it in high school. And then you could go back to Evelyn and pressure her for more information. I think that would be really nice, actually. And I also kind of wish that we had the opportunity to hear things from some of them. Like, oh, I heard a bump in this area at this time, and then you can go back in the house and there would be new evidence available to be found. That would be pretty cool, actually. And you could actually merge that together with the having new topics to discuss with some of the suspects. So person A could say, hey, I heard a noise in this bathroom, like something fell. And you could talk to person B and they could say, oh, I wonder if it was that loose tile that fell again. and then you can go back to the bathroom and find the loose tile and find more evidence hidden in there. And I think that would be a little bit more, it would make it a little bit less linear. If that's something you're interested in, Dev. I just think that would be really cool to see. But regardless, I hope everybody enjoyed my playthrough. And I'll leave the link down in the description below if you want to try and see what happens if you accuse other people in this game. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.